Joining me to talk about the latest developments in the tech sector is Toyin Arowolo. She is an ICT consultant. Very good morning to you, Toyin. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning, Ayo. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. For all our amazing listeners out there, you can join in on the conversation by sharing your thoughts on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. That's 0809 444 0981. We're also streaming on YouTube. You can catch us on Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Okay, Twain. So a couple of things to get into. So let's begin this sprint. And let's begin in let's talk about internet accessibility here. And this one is interesting to me because I saw the story and I recalled I saw a video made by a tech influencer on Instagram, and I kind of had a good laugh about this one, but it's about Starlinks. Now, they've increased their rates again, and it's unsurprising, bearing in mind the current economic climate. Businesses are trying to stay afloat and they're making adjustments to their prices and so on and so forth. And looking at the fact that most areas are already struggling to even afford the service to begin with, how will the recent price hike impact internet accessibility in the long run? And is this increase necessary given the current economic pressures? I mean, looking at where we are right now, increasing prices and looking at their prices, they're not exactly cheap.
Yes, Ayo. Even the previous prices were not just monthly subscriptions. You actually start with a hefty purchase of the equipment. But Starlinks is a business. They're here to
Mm,
make money. They are not a charity. They are not running a charitable organization. So as much as everyone is complaining, you won't go to the market and ask the tomato seller to reduce the price because you do not have enough money or you cannot afford it. Um, Definitely, we're going to see quite a number of innovative things happening. I'm sure that people will start banding together to share their satellite subscriptions. It's a no-brainer because the increase is actually, quite steep. But looking at it, objectively, what are the
mm,
options they have? They need to make money. If our current exchange rate, is eroding the amount they're going to be able to take out of the country, it's a no-brainer to increase the price for them. So this is not sentimental. It's not, oh, people can't afford it, therefore they shouldn't increase. What would happen is people are just going to get creative. If you need internet access, sadly, we're going back to our fiber optic providers who have been providing, you know, subpar service,
mm,
so people are going
mm.
to have to up the game. Something is going to give. At the end of the day, we're going to have to look at, ways to make this work. Starlink so far has come in, you know, gotten. I don't believe that they've captured quite a huge, what do you call it, segment of the market. So there's
Also,
still room for
unsurprising
our
right
look.
there.
Well, how many people can afford how much it is they're looking at? So this is almost like the DSTV for internet access, and you're going to have to either drop it or pick it up based on your pocket.
Mm, most definitely. And like I said, when I saw the video made by that tech influencer, what actually
Mhm.
got me laughing was the email that he received, indicating that the prices had been changed and all that. And the wording of the email kind of gave the vibe
Yeah,
of, if you want to pay, pay. If you don't want to pay,
take
please
it or
be
leave
going.
it.
That was, I think I
Exactly.
think I think that's what got him feeling some type of way. And I just felt, hey, I
True.
mean, you're increasing prices and all that, so you need to be careful with the sort of language that you use, because sometimes it can be very
That you use.
galling on your customers when they feel, so are you saying if I don't want, I should get out? Is that what you're saying?
I should
So
get
that's
out.
so yeah.
But
So that
you
also
can see
is
that.
something to consider.
True. You can see that the handwriting on the wall is clear. That company is owned by the Elon Musk. So it's not surprising that whoever it is that wrote it that way. True.
I will leave it at that. But hey,
Yeah.
you mentioned fiber optics, and that is an
Hmm.
interesting conversation to have. We're actually going to talk about that The federal government announced on Wednesday that securing the requisite $2 billion to fund the ambitious nationwide fiber optic cable project spanning 90,000 kilometers may require up to 18 months. Now, what is the economic or the potential economic impact of that project, and how might it bridge Nigeria's digital divide?
Yeah, that's a huge project, but it's something that we need. So we're talking Starlink, talking fiber optic providers. Everyone in Nigeria knows knows how unstable that communication has been in terms of internet connectivity. And this
Right.
is a much needed project. It's a lot of funding, a lot. It's a huge project, but it's something Nigeria needs. But the interesting thing is, so we're speaking, both of us are in Lagos, but this is going to connect someone who's in a remote village in, Oshogbo somewhere, as in Oshogbo is not a remote village, but, remote villages, far
Mm,
away from city centers. And
right.
then you look at it and say, why does anybody want to go and lay fiber there? This isn't a road leading to, carrying things to any market. But the digital connectivity is a huge project that, African countries need to key into. It has the potential to leapfrog us into the fourth industrial revolution. A lot of people will wonder, look, cable, internet access, but think of schools, think of hospitals. My major thoughts around this are that whatever it is that is happening in terms of laying these cables has to be done side by side with other things.
Mm,
Technology is a lever. It doesn't stand alone. So I'm thinking of Professor Olikoyi Ransom Kuti's primary health centers, in every local government area in Nigeria. As at that time, he built a primary
okay.
health center. I served in a very remote community in Sokoto State. There was a primary health center that was constructed by him, Gatawa. The only people who manned that place were copper doctors when they came, but there was no
Oh, wow.
equipment, And at the end of the day, if the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, is working hand in hand with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health,
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
we're going to see the hinterlands open up, remarkably. At the platform on Tuesday, there was a speaker, Mrs. Toyin, who said, one of the things the government has to look at is ensuring that there's what's the word she used now? She spoke of this concept of ensuring that the people who do not have their aspirational things to look up to. One of the
Okay.
things you would have if you have schools that are connected in the hinterland is whatever is being taught in a school in Cambridge, for instance, can have the same, you can have the same curriculum, the same technology applied to a school in as remote a village as possible in Nigeria. So you have those children who are able to, they don't even have to come into Lagos. So we're not talking of migration, but they can actually connect and be as educated as
Yeah.
any peer in the world. So these are, this project has quite a bit of potential, but my worries are that it cannot be a standalone project. You don't go and lay 90,000 kilometers of cable and it's just laying there. What else is going to happen to build on it? There's the 3 million technical talent thing he's doing. That's the minister, to ensure that people are trained. But how many people outside of our huge cities, Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Benin, are actually being trained, So
Good
there has to
question.
be a concerted effort by several ministries. There was an interesting advert that popped up on my in my email yesterday or day before yesterday, Amazon Health. And I just smiled. I opened it and saw that they were saying you could actually dial in to have a physician, in a first world country, treat you online. That's the kind of impact that you can have with this kind of project. People
Most
don't have
definitely.
to be rushed to town to get, excellent healthcare services. You can actually, do quite a bit. So that's just, as I mentioned, barely, the tip of, what's the cable project, the fiber optic cable project can actually accelerate within Nigeria. There will be jobs, creation of jobs. There would be quite a lot, but it's beyond looking at this as, some people say we haven't eaten. Why are you laying cable? This has the potential to turn Nigeria. If we look at the countries in Africa that have implemented this, for instance, you have South Africa, you have Kenya. Kenya recently opened up what they call a digital nomad visa. That means people can come in out of, who are not residents or, nationals of Kenya, and come in and work. And that's huge for the economy. You're going to have tourists who are coming in and who are going to spend months, and they're coming in to spend dollars. So, of course, they wouldn't come when it's hello, 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 can you hear me? It has to be fast internet access,
That is
so
true.
there's quite a lot that can be done with that project. I wish him luck.
We definitely wish him luck, because if he pulls it off, it's to our collective benefit. We've actually run out of time, but I need to quickly talk about the NIMC. They are once again in the news.
Yeah.
That's the National Identity Management Commission. And they've announced a significant change in their data modification policy, stating that no changes will be implemented at any NIN enrollment centers in Nigeria. Instead, NIN holders must utilize the newly emphasized self-service modification portal for any further updates. Now, Tony, really quickly in about a minute, just like summarize this for us. Is this a move to increase security or control?
No, I don't see it that way. I think this frees up quite a lot of people to be able to change. So if you've attempted to change your NIN, details before, you know how harrowing it is. But now giving us access to do that right from the comforts of our home, you make the payments online, and you enroll, and you have your changes done, and everything is done, online. It's perfect. In terms of control, it's actually freeing the government up. You're not going to be able to, or you're not going to have to queue anywhere and have somebody else make another mistake on that. You sit in your home and you do it. So I applaud this. The only other thing is how many people have, devices that can, that they can do this with. So we're going to see another market crop of people coming to say, okay, use my phone and do this, and I would, you would pay, even more than the government has asked. So yeah, that's the only concern I have.
There always seems to be one fallout or the other. Well,
Exactly.
we'll definitely keep our eyes open on that one. There's a message here on WhatsApp. Egabolu says, in case you're yet to get the memo, in clearer terms, they don't send you. That's in reaction to Starlink. And he says, I remember when Starlink came into the game, a lot of low memory Nigerians went on praising them, even throwing shade at the existing players and all. Anyway, fast forward, here we are. I think we need to understand that putting our local players on their toes 247 is one way to get the best out of them. My provider recently sent updated terms and conditions, and as usual, we Nigerians, including me, don't read. We just press
read
accept.
it.
But these days, I decided to read it, and I heard that lost days are only accounted for from when you lodge the complaint. Bro, trust me, the moment it goes down, I alert them immediately. And guess what?
Wow.
They have been responsive, and I sort of enjoy them. I'm not I'm not INEC that needs extraordinary internet speed. Yinka, what did INEC do to you? Let INEC breathe, please. Taya says, early Friday morning, and Oshubu has collected. Wow. We need to expand
I'm sorry.
internet access. Its advantages to our development and internationally competitive. Ministries need collaboration because it's not a solo project. Exactly what you said, Tony, that it has to be a collaboration to make it work. Thank you guys for the messages. And thank you so much, Toyin Arowolo, for joining me this morning. Absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Ayo. Have a good day.
And you too. All right, keep it tuned to Smooth 98.1. More great music lined up for you as we prepare to take a look at what's going on in the papers on Freshly Pressed at 7:30.